Hello and welcome. Today we will see a debate entitled Trust in Cooperation with Business and Startups. The participants of the debate are Belinne, Maja Leszczyńska, Jakub Cendrowski.
Dzień dobry, Jamie. Hello, welcome to Poland. Welcome to the Wrocław University of Economics. We are very happy to have you here and to have this great opportunity of exchange know-how and experiences with you. First of all, me and Jakub would like to talk with you about your experience connected to the cooperation between units inside the university, units which are directly dedicated to the cooperation with business partners. What, in your opinion, is the most important factor, maybe trigger of such cooperation inside the university?
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It's truly been a pleasure. I think the most important thing is communication. It's so important that every department that has interaction with employers is talking to each other. And usually at a university, for companies that do a lot with the university, there'll be one person that kind of manages that relationship to make sure that we're involving them where we can and that we're not interfering with each other working. And that helps. It's easy in a big university for each group to feel like they're the only one doing things and forget to tell other people what they're doing, and then you miss opportunities, and sometimes the companies get frustrated. But if the communication is coordinated, then they tend to be a lot happier, and we're able to get more out of them when we do that.
Here at the Wrocław University, we also have a few different units dedicated to the direct cooperation with business partners. We have a Center for Business Cooperation, which support our teaching staff to make didactics more practical one by providing internships, guest lecturers, and mentoring for our students. We have the Center for Technology, Knowledge Transfer and Commercialization, which sells our services and know-how to the market. But the main frame of the selling process are the R&D projects, mostly financing by European Union grants. We also have the incubator, but I think that Kuba will tell something more and better than me about it later.
With pleasure.
And all these units which we have at the university work really great at its fields. But as you say, the communication is the most important thing. So in our strategic plan, we would like to take this communication to the next level. We would like to build the environment of trust and communication between those units by implementing information system. We choose the very popular model of information system, which is customer relationship management information system. So we can provide care for our business partners, and we hope that it will help to shift our cooperation with business partner to the next level, to take care all of their needs. Here at the university, we don't have any problems with engaging academic staff to the cooperation with business partners, but we would like to engage students. What are your experiences in this field? How do you engage or motivate students at your university to cooperate with business partners?
That's my favorite part of my job, is connecting the students and the business partners and the faculty all together. I firmly believe that the best education comes when we take theory, practice, and learners and we put them all together. And so we connect them in as many ways as we can. We have companies that will take their business problems that they're struggling with and will bring them into a classroom where a faculty member works with students and the business partner on solving real problems for that business. We have, of course, internships and jobs and job fairs like you do here as well. We also have programs where, for instance, you talked about your technology commercialization. We have that, but we'll have students who work on taking these ideas that our faculty have developed and deciding how do we market these ideas and how do we create a market for the product, how do we raise money for it. So we put students onto that problem as well. In the United States, most job growth is happening in small companies. The vast majority of new jobs are being created in companies with fewer than 500 employees, rather than the very big companies. They're staying the same size. So our students are planning to start small businesses. When I surveyed my students, 71% want to start their own business one day. And when I looked at people who knew entrepreneurs, it was 84%. So almost all of our students plan to do something entrepreneurial. And so we try to bring in companies to work with the students to talk to them about what is it like to run a business, what is it like to start from the bottom and work your way up. And so we'll bring them in again with projects, with mentoring, with lectures. And I feel like working directly with companies to apply the theory they get in the classroom takes what we do in the classroom and gives it more meaning and more purpose, so they get more excited about where they're going.
Okay, do you have any incubators for startups?
We do have incubators for startups, and there are many in Houston especially. Houston is a great town for startups. We are an immigrant city, we are a rapidly growing city, and we are known as a place to start new businesses. And so there are many incubators in the city. The university has a small business development center that serves the region with small businesses, but in the college we also have an incubator to help facilitate startups, and we have some academic programs where our students work with entrepreneurs who are starting businesses to help them launch their businesses. And these are often entrepreneurs that come from under-resourced areas with less money and less networks. And then we also have a program for students themselves who want to start businesses where they all work together through several classes with corporate mentors, so those students can start their businesses as well.
Okay, we also have the incubator
Yes.
here at the Wrocław University, so maybe Kuba will tell something about it.
InQUBE Business Incubator is not only a working place for a startup, which is probably obvious, but it's also, and I would say, first of all, is a hub of knowledge about innovative business, connecting students, startup scientists, VC funds, but also local government and state institution. Infrastructure support, I mean office rooms, for example, is very important, but not the most important things. Why? Because the pandemic has forced companies to change their operating model. Startups in early stage of development are usually consist of 2 or 3 people. It was easy for them to cope with the changes brought by the pandemic. The office is not basic resource for these types of companies. Small companies have an alternative in the form of remote work, in the form of cloud solutions. So a natural consequence of such a kind of transformation of startup business model was a transformation, and a change in the incubator model. At InQUBE, we very often work with a startup in a remote or a hybrid formula. You don't have to be a tenant of our incubator's office space to be a part of our incubation program. So the process of virtualization of business services and redefinition of incubator functions is a fact. And however, of course, we introduce many offline activities such as event, workshop, business consultations. But tell me, Jamie, has the evolution of incubators and the forms of support for startups been similar in the US? What did it look like in the past? and what does it look like today?
I think we're very similar in that the pandemic made everything much more likely to be remote. The good news is that's allowed us to provide more services to more organizations more easily. And so, for instance, our Small Business Development Center has very few organizations that stay on the premises, but they do many online workshops and programs and training so that they can help and support even more small businesses than they were before. And it used to be when you would walk by our incubator at the university, you would see lots of people all there working. Now it's pretty quiet, but that's okay. They're very involved online and they're still collaborating and working together. And so I think it's given us tools to provide support to even more people than we were before. Of course, the limiter is always money, but the tools for communication are certainly better.
Okay, so we talked about the communication, that this is important factor, but do you think that trust is also important factor in cooperation between university and businesses and also with students who starts new businesses? It is an important factor in the USA, or?
We work a little differently in the USA in that we do receive grants from the government, but not as many as they do here. We get a little money from the government. We get a lot of money from the companies. And so involvement with the companies is really necessary for our survival. And the nice thing is when companies want programs and they want research and they want development, they are willing to give money to make it happen. Because people need corporate money in order to do projects, sometimes there can be internal competition for who's going to have the best relationship with the company to get the most money from the company. And so it takes some internal trust building to help everybody realize that there is enough. We can all support the companies together. We can all be supported by the companies together. And if there is a person at the university who is helping with the relationship, they're not going to keep you from getting the financial support you need to do your teaching or your research or your programs that you want to build with this company. If anything, it makes it easier for the companies to be able to provide the kind of support that they want to. But it sometimes takes a while to build that trust because there's money involved. And people are feeling like, well, this is my relationship and why would I share it with you? And it takes a while for people to understand that the more relationships they have at the university, the stronger they are, the more support that they can provide in time, in money, in resources, in ideas, in all of it. And the more trust they have for us. And so, honestly, I think the biggest challenge, because money is involved, is internal trust.
Okay, here in Poland we have different culture because we get most money from the government and we cooperate with companies inside R&D projects which also are financing by government or European Union money. So the trust in factor is most important factor inside the university between units to share knowledge and to make this cooperation better for the whole university and to take care of all the needs of our business partners.
Can you share with us with any spectacular case of or example of startup related to University of Houston?
One of the programs that we have that I love, in fact I wrote a paper on them, is called Stimulating Urban Renewal Through Entrepreneurship. And they take people in the community around Houston, which is a very poor community, and many of the people around the university may not even have a high school education and almost certainly not college. And they want to start a business, but they don't have business skills and they don't have money and they don't have networks. And we have a program where we will bring in these people and partner them with students in the college and with business mentors from outside. And the business mentors and the students work with these people to help them write their business plan. And then we bring in banks and we help them present their business plan to the bank so that they can get some loans to actually start their businesses. And through this program, we've helped start hundreds and hundreds of small businesses in this area around the university and really changed lives. But also the students that are part of this program have said being able to help start a real business for a person who has a need but not the resources has been transformational for them, so that when they go out into the world as business leaders, they think differently about how to work with different populations, how to help the economy grow, how to help the world around them be successful. And so I feel like it brings together the things that we're there for as a university, that we help students learn and change their lives. We bring in business and industry so that they can have impact on the world through education. And then we help transform the community around us through our economic skills. And so things like that to me are very exciting.
Yeah, that's very impressive, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's really impressive. So as we see, there is a lot of similarities, a lot of differences also, but as we see, we can learn a lot from each other.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
for the conversation.